Have you ever been in a relationship or friendship where someone you deeply care about suddenly feels distant? Maybe they take longer to text back, seem less engaged in conversations, or avoid spending time with you. It's confusing, right? You start questioning yourself. Did I do something wrong? Did I upset them? These moments of emotional distance can leave you feeling hurt, rejected, or even abandoned. But what if I told you this distance isn't always what it seems? What if the person pulling away actually values you more than you realize? It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? When someone cares about you deeply, their actions should reflect that care. So why would they withdraw? Why would someone who treasures you act like they're pushing you away? The secret lies in psychology. Sometimes, the people who care the most aren't distant because they don't value you. They're distant because they do. This emotional withdrawal is often rooted in fear. Fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, or even fear of messing things up. Their distance isn't rejection. It's a sign they're battling internal struggles about how much they care. And here's the most surprising part. Their fear of losing you could be the very reason they're pulling away. It's not about a lack of love or care. It's the opposite. When someone values you deeply, they might overthink every interaction, feeling overwhelmed by the pressure to get it right. This makes them seem distant, when in reality, they're just scared of losing something they hold so close to their heart. When someone you care about starts acting distant, it's natural to feel a wave of confusion and even hurt. You might ask yourself, what did I do wrong? Did I say something to upset them? But here's the thing. Their behavior isn't always about you. In fact, their distance might be linked to how much they value you. It may sound strange, but psychology shows us that emotional withdrawal can sometimes be the result of deep care mixed with fear. This phenomenon is often linked to something called attachment anxiety. People who care deeply about others sometimes fear losing them so much that it creates an emotional struggle within. They worry about making mistakes or doing something to push you away. Ironically, this fear of losing the connection can lead them to pull back, creating the very distance you're noticing. Their mind tells them, be careful, don't ruin it. And in trying to protect the relationship, they unintentionally create space. Another reason someone might seem distant is because caring deeply makes them feel vulnerable. Being vulnerable opens the door to potential hurt. And for some people, that's a terrifying prospect. They might feel exposed, like their emotions are out in the open, and their instinct is to retreat as a way of protecting themselves. It's not about pushing you away. It's about shielding their own heart from what they perceive as potential pain. Sometimes, the distance isn't deliberate at all. People who value you may overthink their every action. They might wonder, am I texting too much? Am I coming across as clingy? What if I say the wrong thing? This overthinking can create emotional overload, causing them to hesitate or pull back. It's not that they don't want to connect with you. It's that their mind is creating so much noise that they struggle to act naturally. So, what can you do when someone who values you acts distant? The key is reassurance. A simple gesture, like letting them know you appreciate them, can go a long way. Say something like, hey, I just want you to know I value our connection, or I'm here if you ever need to talk. These small but powerful words can help ease their fears and remind them that the relationship is safe. At the same time, it's important to respect their need for space. Sometimes, people need time to work through their emotions and fears on their own, instead of pressing them for answers or overanalyzing their behavior. Give them the grace to process what they're feeling. Stay present in their life without overwhelming them, and they'll often find their way back to you naturally. One of the most powerful things you can do is recognize that their distance may be rooted in love, not rejection. It's not always easy to see this, especially when you feel hurt or confused by their actions. But understanding that their withdrawal is a reflection of their internal struggles, not a lack of care, can help you approach the situation with empathy. Ultimately, emotional distance doesn't always mean a lack of value. Sometimes, it's a sign of how much someone treasures you and fears losing you. By offering reassurance, giving space, and approaching the situation with understanding, you can help strengthen the connection. Remember, relationships are complicated, and sometimes the greatest acts of love happen quietly, behind the scenes of someone's fear and vulnerability. At the end of the day, relationships are rarely as simple as they seem on the surface. When someone values you deeply, their actions may not always align with how they feel. Emotional distance, while confusing and sometimes hurtful, can often be a signal of their inner fears and insecurities, not a lack of care. By understanding the psychology behind this behavior, you can approach these situations with more empathy, patience, and clarity. Remember, relationships thrive on open communication and mutual reassurance. It's not about demanding perfection from the other person or even yourself. It's about learning to navigate these emotional complexities together. By recognizing the signs, offering reassurance, and giving space when needed, you can create a stronger, more meaningful connection with those who truly matter to you. Have you ever experienced a situation where someone you care about seemed distant and you weren't sure why? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Conversations like these help us all learn and grow. If you found this insight helpful, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who might need it. And if you're curious about more psychological insights into relationships and human behavior, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on future content. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes emotional distance is just fear in disguise. You've got this.